Okay, I want to say hello everybody, welcome again. Welcome, it's a morning here, it's an early morning, and I've been doing my workout. I've nearly finished my workout, okay? Let me just pull this curtain across. So you can see better. Okay. This is quite dark actually, isn't it? Well, I'll turn this light on for a moment. That's better. So, okay, I've nearly finished my workout. I've been working out this morning, and I do this every day, and my basic martial arts stretching and working out. This is real life. It's just someone at home. I'm just an ordinary person. I'm not the toughest person or anything. But I like to keep myself fit and healthy, and I've been doing this for many, many years. I started my martial arts when I was 12 years of age, and I've trained under many different teachers. I've never been a fitness fanatic, fitness guru type person, but I'm 41 years of age now, and I started when I was 12. So, do the math. We're talking about, 29 years? Most of my life I've been training martial arts. And in the training, you have to do stretching and basic body maintenance, a bit of basic strength, a bit of basic flexibility. It's very important, right? And I learned that, but just by training martial arts, and learning under different teachers of different disciplines in different schools. And anyway, I took it into my own, training by myself, and just had to keep it up, because one, it prevents injury in the body, and also it prepares you for your martial arts training. Just so your body's able to do the techniques, obviously, and also, for your life in general. I mean, the fitness is most important. It really is. So I'm just doing I'm just finishing off my workout. I'm just finishing a few things. Nothing fancy. I'm not showing off. I mean, you put it this way: some people can't walk, so they might see someone who can walk and think, "Oh, are you showing off?" It's about taking care of your body and mind the best you can in the state you have, and it's about how you feel. It's not about what it looks like. It's about how you feel. The same in health too. So my teacher in the Kung Fu used to say to me, one of my Kung Fu teachers used to say to me, seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth, And that was talking about the actual, hand-to-hand combat techniques, that you have to know what's the real deal, in terms of skill. It's not about what looks fancy or what looks terrible, or how someone looks or sounds. It's like you can't judge a book by its cover. It's the content. Some medicines may taste foul, or foods, but they may be good for us, right? And some foods might taste great, or medicines, they might be bad for us. If you want to call them medicines, like drugs or alcohol. People that drink alcohol or smoke or take drugs. I mean, these things are bad for you, right? And there's a lot of poisonous things in society that are bad for us as well. Now, martial arts training, obviously, I put time in, and I do my martial arts training, my actual skills and all of that, the martial arts. But most every day I just do my basic stretch workout like I'm doing here. The camera angle's not even the best, so I'm not showing that. That's not the most important thing here in this video, okay? The important thing is, I want to just talk to you about a couple of things, okay? In fact, while we're here, I'm going to take this camera here for a second. And I'm going to do something here very quickly. Okay. Just for a second, I'm going to do something here because it's pretty convenient. I'm going to put my foot by this toilet and the other by the wall and do a bit of stretching like that. Okay, it might sound crazy, but it works well, trust me. So I'm going to put one foot here, and one foot here, and just stretch down for a second. Just for a little second. And the reason being is because the floor is pretty slippery, okay, in the other room. Not wet, but dry slippery, you know. And I've got bare feet, so, you know. So get a bit more stretch here, you see. Just really quickly, like this. Stretching down. In a moment we'll go in the other room. But I want to talk to you about some principles, okay, some points. About, like I said, poison, problems basically with our societies that we're living in, okay? Because, this thing about seeing is believing, but feeling is the truth. That is a true statement, okay? And only you're going to know yourself, but you better know before it's too late. Every moment you have. Okay, let's go in the room. Every moment you have is a moment, really, a chance to gain and learn. Do you know that every moment you're living on the earth is a chance to gain and learn? I've got some coffee here as well. I'm going to enjoy that now. Let's get to it. So all I'm trying to say is, okay, there are many things to look at. Okay, look, not all wars are won on the battleground. Okay, that's another thing. And it's funny because you can go really into the battle strategy study. There's books on it. There's books. There's books by various people that I'm not going to mention names now because I've talked about them before, but there's legendary war strategy books and stuff like that about how to win in combat, you know what I mean? And it's the same with the mind too. And how to deal with problems and how to battle, and all this stuff, But I'm going to say something here. I want to say a couple of things, right? It's usually fear. It's usually insecurity in the mind, is what it is, of people. That makes them behave or talk a certain way, And so with that being said, there's no peace there inside. What we really need to understand is what is us and what is not us. That's what we need to understand, everybody. You need to understand what it is you're thinking. What is making you feel afraid or any of the need to speak? Because I feel that everything we do is a reaction of something else. You may have heard it in like science or physics, they say something that causes something else to move, you know what I mean? Please excuse my bad paraphrasing here, but you know what I mean? So it's like when we say something or when we do something, including nothing, every action, let's say conscious action, or even subconscious, because it's still a form of consciousness, the thought, right? But and if we're talking about the mind into the bodily action, the drive, okay, so the mind thinking to then speak, even out of habit, no matter how instant it becomes, if it's coming from the mind to the words, your thoughts to your words, or your thoughts to your actions, your steps, whatever it is. That is coming from a need, or a perceived need in the mind, It really is. It's coming from a perceived need. Now, what is a need? What is a need? A need, a perceived need, I should say, because sometimes what we think we know is not what the body really needs, okay? Or really, is, okay, reality. So what I'm trying to say is, the perceived need, the need to the self in the mind, what we call understanding, is actually perception. most of the time, most of it. This need is, their perceived need is, perceptual need is basically the feeling that if we don't have this, or if we don't do this, if we don't make this change, this maneuver of some kind, it is going to be bad for us, or that we're in a bad state and it's going to continue or get worse, some kind of danger or something like that, or a lack of better, lack of, like we're going to prevent something good from coming into possibility, right? Which also is a need. We need to have that good, you see what I'm saying? So we fear not having that. So again, that becomes a negativity in our lives. So people are always running away from negativity, naturally. Naturally, even the most negative people, even the most, warmonger-minded people, for lack of better terms, even those people, they are also running away from negativity. You see, the body, as we've said, the mind and the body is always geared up, not even the thought, but the mind. Can you imagine a mind without thought? But the existence of this, okay? This mind and the body, coming from nature, coming from all the power of the universal nature, again, the constant flow of yin and yang, which is always eternal, even in the face of the fact that it is always changing. But the body, okay, if your body gets hurt or gets sick, your body is always trying to replenish and recover, heal itself. If you are tired, it's the same thing. If you are tired, your body starts to tell you, and you start to naturally switch off, right? It's actually going into rest state, going into sleep state, okay? Also, if you're very hot, you start to sweat. Your body is trying to cool down. If your body is cold, it starts to shiver. It's trying to get warm again. So your body knows what's right and wrong. If you get pain, if you're hurt, whether, if you feel anything like that, imbalance, or if something's against your power, you don't have enough strength to move something, it's not a bad thing. It's telling you what you are. It's not just an abstract idea, it's literally you and what your cells and atoms, your energy, and your mind and body can achieve. It's what you have, the energy you have, and all of that. Okay, so when the body and the mind always understand, the body always understands. How is it that the mind is separate from the body? We're not dead. We're not dead, right? So how if the mind is not separate, the mind should not be thinking all kinds of things which go against itself. The same with the body. We should not be doing things which is going against the body. Now, nobody's perfect. We say, most people are not, but we don't do the right things. We're not talking about how, immune or not immune we are to various illnesses and sicknesses, I should say, colds and diseases and stuff. I'm not trying to say the weathers of the earth and whatever other dangers, external dangers. But I'm talking about the actual state of the body, okay? The state of the body. Nobody is, we say, perfect in that way, and perfect in the actions and habits what we have. Like, so you may not eat the most perfect food, even if you tried to eat the most perfect healthy diet, per se, okay? However, for the most part, all that aside, what we're eating and drinking, just say, okay, it's important, yes, what we put in, the good stuff and what we avoid from the bad stuff. There must be balance too. And without dark and light, we can't have either side. And like any two sides to anything in yin and yang, right and down. But what I'm trying to say is, is the body, right? So if your body is sick, if you've got a stomach pain, there's something wrong. Your body is telling you. If you're eating certain foods and you're feeling, sick or it's bad, the body is telling you, right? But you make your mind tired when you think about so many things in your life. And here we get to the point now. So many things in your life that's happening, in your world, what you think is your world. But rather it's the made up society, the people you're hanging around, the memories you put in your mind of what people say or what's happened today, when actually it's really nothing. It's not an actual true situation per se. We're just living creatures on the earth behaving a certain way. But you get so brainwashed by the system that you see before your eyes in society that you forget about nature and the natural body of the human being. You just follow the system and all the rules and all that, and it becomes this chess game in your mind. Wordplay and all that stuff, and in chess game battle, show and image and all that stuff with other people in the world, and you get very, very confused trying to work out what's true or not, until in the end your thoughts are playing in a game that doesn't exist. We're not even playing football on the football pitch anymore. We're playing with sports in a VR, in a virtual reality world, and you play for so long that you forget that you're in the game. It's like the Matrix, it's like all that old school stuff you can imagine, even from the old back in the day. Lawnmower Man, all the old classic sci-fi films and all that. You lose touch with reality, whether it be Total Recall, Johnny Mnemonic, all these films, Lawnmower Man 1, 2, I've not seen them, 2, Tron's another film. You see what I'm saying? So there's like sci-fi films that show this kind of stuff, sci-fi, right? The Running Man was a good film, I thought too. And if you want to go into the other realms, which I always strongly express to you, there's other films which show these stories, and other stories which show what's basically going on. When the wall's being pulled over your eyes and you're deluded in a delusional illusion of a world, okay? In a delusional state, in an illusion in this world. And there are films and stories which show this. Number one, of course, absolute number one, George Orwell's 1984. Other movies include Logan's Run. Okay, there was another one I watched recently, I forgot the name of it now. It's on my channel, I'm showing a bit of it. But there's Logan's Run, there's The Sanctuary, okay? So many films, even horror films and sci-fi and fantasy, so many films that show this kind of thing. It's been shown in so many stories and films. The Matrix, obviously, referencing Alice in Wonderland, the Wizard of Oz series, the Wizard of Oz. Lots of different stories that get the imagination going. Okay, The Secret Garden is another good one. The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. It goes on, but let's just go back to the Alice in Wonderland. Labyrinth is an amazing film. Okay, but if you look into these films, you'll see so much more of what they're showing about how we are living in this world, people. 1984, okay, George Orwell's 1984. That movie shows so much, about how we're living. And another movie I watched recently, an animated movie, I've never seen it before, from the 1970s, an old movie, cartoon it was, but it was very strange and very serious. It's called The Fantastic Planet. Okay, The Fantastic Planet. Have a look at that movie as well if you get a chance. It's another one. But these movies, okay, these are from people that can see something. They can see something about the way the world is. And anyway, there's been quite a few. There was another one I watched recently too. I forgot the name of it now. Another sci-fi one. But I'm just telling you now, you can be so deluded and delusional when you see what's going on, or what you think is going on. It's a perceived reality. And it's not the true experience. Now, if you exhaust the mind with thought, if you basically bury your mind with thought, it's almost like you've buried it. There's so much darkness you can't see the light, but that can't be possible, right? Light always shines through the darkness. It's like you've smothered your mind, suffocated yourself with all these thoughts. So it's the same as if you do bad things for the body, it's the same thing. You're going to go against your body. You're going to exhaust the body by putting too much unnecessary work on the body. Then you're not going to have the power that you have within you. Although you're limited compared to some people, you still, or whatever forces in the world, galactic cosmos, you still have, you are an amount of power. Physically and mentally, you are like starlight. You are the energy, you are the power of a living creature, a living being. Human beings should be the most, well, we say on the planet, probably the most intelligent beings. Well, we definitely have traits about us which are different to other animals, trees, or blades of grass, which are also living, right? And blades of grass don't, even though they are living, and there's more, I'm guessing there's more blades of grass on the world than people, they do not have the issues, even on as an equivalent on their level. They would not have, I know that sounds ridiculous, but to the kind of way we govern each other and enslave ourselves as a whole species, more or less. The lights, some people said the lights are on but no one's home. How is that so? What I'm saying is how can people be so deluded, so far from the truth? They say the apple doesn't fall far, from the tree. How can you be standing up there somewhere and not with your feet on the ground? You know when you're walking through a forest, even on a street, okay, and you smell the flowers from this side, and you smell something a bit funky on that side. You know. You just know. So what about the mind? The mind makes up language constantly, and we don't actually see or hear anything. Our five senses are almost redundant. We try to go beyond ourselves, and we always end up falling back. We always end up lost. People try to go beyond it without even knowing it. They just try and know. They think they know more than what they hear and what they see. They talk about the outside world, but really all you are is an experience unto yourself. You are the experience to yourself. The five senses are receivers of they receive, but this is what I'm trying to say to you, sister. Now they say a book can't be judged by its cover, and that don't judge a book by its cover. And even if you read a book and you thoroughly understand it, you may not understand the author. Even if you interview the author and the author tells you what he's thinking, you may go home and talk to people about what the author said, and like you truly know the person. Even if you ask honest questions about him or the world he lives in, you will never truly know. You can only guess if what he said is true, or what kind of understanding you have. And that's based on the makeup of your mind. What knowledge you have come into, and language you have come into development of in your mind. Your mind is a developed state of language, which is not the outside language, but rather your perceived now foundation. And I was going to say, every foundation, you may have a foundation that in your mind is so true, without even thinking it, you just know it to be true. And you ask honest questions based on that. But you never question the foundation. Now, before I forget this, a moment ago I was going to mention Indiana Jones. So when Indiana Jones is walking across, I forgot which one, the Temple of Doom or which one. When he's, he throws the stuff out, the dust, to show, and you have to walk across this bridge. It's between the canyon, I go from one side to the other without falling down. You have to try and imagine there was a bridge and go beyond these fears, you see. But what is fear and what is confidence? There's so many different things you can look at, is there? What do you think? What thoughts come to you? How can they? There's another question, but I said, what is the thought? What is the thought? How is the thought? How is the whatever this thought is, and what is that? before you read the book, as you're reading the book, and after you finish reading the book. The word, even the word. What is the question? What is the looking? What is the listening? What is the trying? What is the anything? You start from I have, and then you move on to try to have, but what happens is you lose it, so you don't have. See? You get zero. When it is full, you cannot add any more. See? It's just like, if you had a true question, see, true learning comes sometimes without the question. True learning comes without the question sometimes. Do you see that? Do you understand what I'm saying? Can you even fathom that to a degree without contemplating further about more what I've said? So the question gets, right, if you want to be it's like the fisherman. When you go fishing, you must go fishing or you will not get any fish. But if you go beyond that, painting legs on a snake or asking too many questions, you change the story and you move too much and the fish, they don't come. You have to be present and doing nothing sometimes. You see what I'm saying? That's when everything comes. See, if you want to be in this world, this universe, this real world, truth, if you want to be in there, you have to let it be. You can't be like someone who is just big and heavy, so big and heavy that they jump in the ocean and the water splashes out. Then you can't swim there, you know what I'm saying? You can't be bigger than the world and hope to live in it. You know what I'm trying to say? So the smaller you are, the more there is for you, so to speak, right? But it's like this, okay? You don't want the whole world to like crush you as well. You're going to become so small that you're just smothered and covered by it. But at the same time, if you think of the world, if you think of your hand holding something, if you think of the world as a hand, a big hand, fingers trying to hold something, pick something up. You know, some things are too small sometimes to pick up with the hand, you know, because it's too small. Or rather, a better example would be, again, like Bruce Lee's water, when he says about the water. So you can't pick up the water, you can't manipulate the water in your hand, it just flows. So, you know what I'm saying? But it's the substance. What is the substance? What it is. Okay, now I'm going to just do my gungun now, okay? Do my Marlboro gungun. What I'm trying to say is here is to you, in a moment, hold on. Oh, just stretch my foot quickly, feet. But with, you see, the next part of this I want to talk about today, in this video, is respecting our elders. Respecting our elders. What does it mean to respect our elders? What does respect mean? So, I guess another question. How can we think anything? You see what I'm saying? This is the question. So, without thinking. How can you think and not think at the same time? Like Bruce Lee said also, right? I'm not a massive fan of Bruce. I respect him as a martial artist. But yeah, I'm just saying, right? He said, not thinking yet not dreaming. I'm not dreaming, right? That's what he said, right? So, the point I'm trying to say is if you're thinking, if you're truly thinking, you're a wise person, right? You're wise, yeah? However, your thinking is based on limited knowledge, which is too less and too much. It's too less and too much. Because it's so much that you cannot think outside of that. And it's so less that you cannot think more than that. So you can't think more or less than what's in your mind. What's in your mind? At that moment, That is your whole world, your whole universe, the whole existence of you, the being of you, the driver of the body, the vehicle, to do anything. The mind becomes a problem. So, now, it takes time. It takes minutes. Or it takes longer than that sometimes. If you said a whole life, how many years have you been living? I think, just like the heart is persistently beating throughout our lives, I think that is a reminder too, but we need to respect our elders. If I can respect someone, just in feeling, okay, it's not in showing or doing anything. Before you can do anything, you have to feel it first. It's what's in you. No? I'm 41, okay, nearly. If I can respect someone, if I can show respect to someone who is 82, okay, 82, double my age, okay, that's double my age, okay. It's very easy for me. It's very natural because I know that person is not me, but they've lived a long life and they've been through a lot of things. Especially living in a society, if you've lived in a jungle, you survived that, or lived out at sea, or in a desert, or in a space station, or in anything like that, then that's already a natural surrounding. That's already a dangerous, difficult thing. But if you've lived in society, okay, in the world, any culture, any country in society, I don't give Victorian times or modern day or whatever, okay, you're living amongst people, and there's some countries which are at war as well, But I'm just saying, you're living there, and it's a different kind of danger, a different kind of struggle, because you've got battles going on, and there's always things that are thrown at you that need not be, right? Need not be. And then you've got illness and all the rest of it, and just the surviving journey of it all, and health and many things. And we know that someone is going to have learned from something from the external world, which is all the experience of the self and learning of the self. And we can definitely learn something from them. And it's like, if everybody listens to one person, I'm sure we can learn something. Or we'll come to we don't gain, but we come to some practice of our mind. And all practice of the mind is learning and developing. But you don't want to get bad habits, like a hunch back like that. You want to make sure that you understand and study that. What you get it. Study yourself, I'm saying. Study yourself. When you look in the mirror, you don't study the mirror. You're trying to understand your face and your hair and your. You know what I'm saying? You're not looking at the mirror. You're looking at yourself. That's what you're looking at. Now, that's what it is. So you may love the world. You may put other people before you, even in a good way. Maybe you say, "Oh, I love my family. I love the people, my friends and family. They are the most important thing in my life." Yeah, the things that make you feel good. Okay, but that is you. That is also you. It is you. Because if you were not alive, if you didn't have these feelings, see, goodness and good and bad, you would not know that. So everything is you. So, and if it's not you, then you shouldn't be taking it into your mind and body. Was it oil and water don't mix, right? Okay, so that's that. Right? What I'm trying to say now is the age thing. Hold on one second. The age thing is very natural, okay, to respect someone who is older than you, I feel. And any human on the planet, of course, but I'm saying, or not on the planet, any living thing really, but I'm just saying, like, someone who is double your age, if you can't respect that person, there's something wrong there, I feel. There's a confusion. And if you can't respect another person, yeah, there's something wrong there too. Whoever they may be. because we're all different, and you know yourself as well. So they don't know you. So what I'm trying to say here, my point is, okay, if you've got someone, well, another point is, if you've got someone who's just say half my age, roughly, 20 something, then why can't I show me that? Why can't I be shown that same respect, you know? Well, again, it's because of the kind of experiences in the life we've led. The environments we've been in, and the years of experience we've gained living in such environments. That's what it is, okay? But it's wrong to blame the world around us. How can we live on this earth? Sorry, in this world, sorry, this society. Really, it's this world, this nature. I'm saying, how can we live for a length of time and not be in a better state of for lack of better words, awareness, self-awareness and realization? How can how do you suddenly get, as you get older, as you grow older, you don't start to feel like less aware of like hot and cold, do you? No. Right? So, how is it that as we get older, a lot of people, they don't seem to be aware of what is them or not them, you know? And anyway, so I just wanted to share that, okay, about age, just quickly there, about age, okay? I think it should be very, very easy for people to respect others. And another thing I'll say is, some people have not been shown communication, okay? They've not been shown compassion, okay? They've not been shown compassion. They've not been shown it, right? From a young age, they've been told to shut up, or they've been told, or people didn't listen to them, or they showed them no love, no heart, you know. Some people, that's what they've had. When they was young, and they've had a hard life, a cold sort of life with family or whatever it is. And these people, again, I will not understand, because those kind of people, okay, they should know more. If someone's been, you know what I'm trying to say? They're from a young age, alright, okay. But I'm saying, like, I still believe that everybody's got a mind and can understand what's bad and good. But there are people out there that had these kind of experiences, you know, and it's developed their mind state. So the main thing I'd say here is there's different levels of, you can call it mental illness, I guess. There's different mental states, you know. The question is how in control of how aware are you of your thoughts, you know? Some jumping jacks. Now, near the beginning of this video, I started to say to you, I said that everything we do and everything we say comes from a need, a perception, a perceived need, okay? Now, this is the question. So, what do you need today? Now, you've only got time, but I think a lot of people waste their time and energy trying to judge others and try to control everything, because they don't have any control over themselves, and they don't understand what they're doing to themselves, so they blame others. You need to understand, if there's a war going on inside, there's a problem. There's a problem. If you've got problems internally, in your biological body, and you go to hospital, you go to the doctor, right, to have operations or whatever, yeah? So the mind also, who are you going to trust to dissect your mind and work, and make the connections, the disconnections, and, mould and shape your mind? Our minds are moulded and shaped by our thoughts, which are constant questions and answers, constant chaos, confusion, lostness, laziness, fear, determination and drive, confidence and ego. For a lot of people all the time, which is driven by fear, which is perceived needs. Yeah, this key is for this door. So what you need to understand is, not because I say so, what we need to understand is, everything's always changing, every experience is always different. But be able to just hear the peace, hear what's truly going, hear yourself, hear your body. The sky is blue. Again, that's it. There's nothing really to say. It doesn't matter how many presidents you have, how much money comes and goes from the bank. Okay, how many winters, summer, spring, summer, autumn, winter goes, and how many stars are shining in the sky that you may never focus on throughout your life. It doesn't matter how many cars go up and down that road, the designs, the fashion, the trends, the what's hit, what's not, the technology that's changing, the language, the jargon, the slang, what people look like or they used to look like, or the times and the cultures, whatever. The most important thing that matters is, or the habits of the people, but the most important thing is this moment, you're here now, right? What is actually going on? What is going on? Because you're a pile of atoms and cells, just as anybody else is. Now, you don't need to be raising your voice above people, and trying to backstab people and all that, or complain about any of that. It's like, you know what I mean? You just got to live and let live, It's the best thing you can do, live and let live. So we're talking about reality, the body and the mind, okay? So, if we need guns and bombs and stuff like that in the world, war, tanks, and aeroplanes, it means there's a problem. It means there's a problem on the inside. And if you need to be talking, you need to ask yourself why. What is your drive? Is there a problem inside? Is there a problem with, you cannot exist and survive, literally, or is there another route you can take? Is it the external world around you? What effect is it having on you? And what can you do to avoid it? If you can't stop it, how can you avoid it? You say, understand the fight. If you don't understand the fight, you don't know how to fight. You have to understand the target is moving or not moving, the distance between it, the scientific maths of nature, the awareness of the body that we should all understand. If you're hungry or you're thirsty, if you don't understand that, the near and the far, the big and the small, you're not going to understand it. You're not going to understand anything. Okay? So that's what I'm trying to say. Okay? So this is what they did, whether it be the ancient samurai fighting, the ninjas, the modern day soldiers, any kind of martial arts, okay? Or just two young people or two old people bickering about something. It's all nothing. Most of it is nothing. Okay? So you have to understand it's all nothing. There is nothing in your hand. It's only a hand and thought. You see that? No, okay, you say, no, I'm using it. You say, no, okay. I've got food in my tummy and it's keeping me alive. That's real, right? You say, okay, that's true. But you know it. If you don't know your life, then what is life? That's my question. If you don't know your life, what's the difference between a rock or a mud? What's the difference? You say, well, okay. What about trees and flowers and grass? Do they know? Okay, fair enough. But the point I'm trying to say is, they don't know like the thought we have in our mind. They know from the being. In the being, the body knows. The mind should know what the body knows, and the body should know what the mind knows, right? The body will be in a result of what the mind is thinking. That's another problem. See what I'm saying? So that's what we said. The body takes care of the mind takes care of the body. This is again what we're saying. Kung Fu about this life. So, what is the substance? What are the ingredients of your mind? You said the ingredients of your mind are the ingredients for a chocolate cake. But you're thinking every day about flipping spicy fish, whatever the fuck you're saying. Excuse my language. You're not gonna have a good spicy fish meal because your mind is made of the ingredients for chocolate cake. You know what I'm saying? So you need to understand first what it is. Otherwise you get the bag and you say, oh shit, the bag is too small for my food that I want to carry on my gift or this box. It's too big, right? I like to say the shoes are too small for your feet. Or they're too big, they fall off. Maybe the mountain is too big or too small for you. Maybe you're too big or too small for the mountain. So there's nothing to say. You know? If something is not light or not dark enough, maybe we can't see very well. If it's more light, it's better than darkness, we say. But if it's so bright, you don't see anything. If it's so dark, you can't see anything, right? Again. So you need to see, they show each other, and it's the same for the quiet and the loud. The early, the late, the time, everything is showing. That is why the lesson is real physicality. It's not just Lao's words. This is what the Tao is. This is what it means about yin and yang, right? It's teaching you need to see that. Don't see what's going on in the world, who's waving what flag and who's telling you what's this the supervisor for the manager's telling you this, or someone, you know what I mean? All the talk in the world. You can read all the books, all the new books, they're popular now. They're popular now. You don't know the old books, but this is popular now. You know what I'm saying? That's not what it's about. It's not the book, it's your mind. You have to understand it's your mind. Yeah. So you can even say the food is nothing. It's the stomach, it's the state of your stomach when it's benefited you. If it does not benefit you, if it does not help you, it is nothing. You understand me? Sickness does not help you. You know what I'm saying? You want to get the health from somewhere, right? See, the water the garden, water the flowers, don't put the water down the drain. The health is in you, the power is your living body here that you are now, the mind and body here. Right there. As you can feel it. Not in a YouTube video, not YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, whatever, no. It's in your body right now. The time, I think the Sadhguru or someone said, legend said, or Krishnamurti, people have said this, right? The time is not on this clock here. The time is right here in your lungs, breathing. See? Breathe. See? You're alive now. It's a reality. Okay? How many breaths have the old people taken? Breath is the most valuable thing in life. Breath. You are rich in breath. Not in money. In breath. In breath. So talk about chi, right? Qi Gong is the chi, the breath in your blood, in your body, all around your body. Yeah? Breathe. Right now, today, right now. Today, right now. Today, right now, I said. Not this afternoon. So not right now. Because this will be another yesterday. Right? You remember that? Some people's dogs can understand more than the owner, I tell you that. Alright, so try to understand. When you feed your dog, look at yourself and ask yourself, what is your quality of life also? What is your quality of life? Value will come from awareness. You don't just wake up and say, I value this now. Because oftentimes you end up tripping up as well. Peace and thank you for listening. And don't forget to read the Tao Te Ching, it's a good book.